I don't like Battlefield 1. A quote that probably triggers a lot of hardcore Battlefield 1 fans out there, and like I've said before, that's completely normal. Actually, it's completely natural for you to want to defend a game that you love or that you enjoy so much. And same goes for Battlefield 1. This game still, even though it may not be as big as when the game first came out, but it still has a very big community surrounding the game that love to play the game each and every single day, and I do believe the game is still getting supported every single day, or the developers are still keeping the game up to date and supporting the game with regular patches that need to be fixed and buffed and different things, you know what I mean. But yeah, Battlefield 1 is a game that I overall just didn't enjoy too much. Whenever I first started playing the game a bit, I actually did quite enjoy the game. I was actually in a phase where I actually really liked the game and I got really addicted and really into it, to the point where I really wanted to get the game. I was like, I need this game now, and I ended up getting the game. But shortly after, I found myself getting kind of bored of the game fairly fast, and I do want to clarify this. I am not a big Battlefield fan. I am not the best at Battlefield. I'm not very good at Battlefield games. A lot of people out there may be thinking that you don't have a very valid opinion. You can't say jack shit because you're not good at the game. Go get good, scrubber. A lot of people generally say stuff like that. But Battlefield 4 is a game that I'm equally not as good at, but I still love that game. I still have a lot of fun playing that game. And Battlefield 4 does a lot of things differently compared to Battlefield 1, but what exactly does Battlefield 1 do different from Battlefield 4 to make Battlefield 4 more competitive and a better game overall, at least in my opinion? So yeah, Battlefield 1, the big thing that bored me with the game is the lack of being rewarded and feeling like you're getting rewarded. Of course, there is battle packs, and as I've said before with Call of Duty, the supply drops in Call of Duty, in my opinion, really help the game to make me want to go back to the game and play it more, and keeps the game's life cycle longer, at least in my opinion, because you always have something to go back to. Even though it's RNG and even though it's random, you always have that feeling of, yeah, I want that gun, or I want that variant, or I want whatever that thing is hidden behind that loot box, and I want to get that. And the more I play the game, the higher chance I have to get that. Rather, if I don't play the game, I'm never going to get that thing. So it always incentivizes me to come back to the game each and every day, and that is a big thing with me with video games and loot boxes, and that is the upside, at least in my opinion, when it comes to loot boxes. But with Battlefield 1, that wasn't enough for me. There is a severe lack of customization in this game, like a severe lack. There is very little customization when it comes to attachments, when it comes to weapons. There is about, I think, like 4 primary weapons in each class, or each, like, whatever they're called in this game, classes, like the medic and different things they got, and the support or scout, whatever it's called in this game. Yeah, so there's 4 of them, and there's like 4 weapons in each class, I believe, so therefore adding up to like a total of what, like 16 weapons or something, which isn't a whole lot for a first-person shooter. And even though there is different variants of weapons, you're going to say, oh, this variant or this weapon has like a slightly higher fire rate, or a bit different change in iron sight, or something like that, that basically is an equivalent to a red dot. It's not enough to make it a completely new weapon, and it doesn't change the game that much, and that is the closest thing that you get in this game to attachments. Attachments are severely ripped out from the weapons in this game, and that is one of the biggest things that I loved about Battlefield 4. Battlefield 4 has such a big variety of weapons, attachments, camos. Everything in that game was so customizable and so freeing to give you so much option to what you want to do and what you want to create on your weapon. So when it comes down to it in Battlefield 1, there is different weapons. There's different types of weapons that change around how the iron sights look, or give it kind of like a bit of a red dot sight look to it, to change how your optical sight looks and make the weapon a tad bit more easier to use. But it's not enough, as I've said. It's not enough to make the game completely different and change up how much customization you have within the game. It's not enough. To start with, never mind the lack of customization as well, it takes forever to level up your classes in this game. To level up, to even just get one new weapon, takes forever, and it is behind a paywall pretty much. To be able to rank or max out this thing to rank 10, you have to pay like, I don't even know, is it like 15 bucks? I don't think it is, maybe it's not, but the last I remember hearing like 15 bucks or something like that, which is kind of expensive just to max out your thing and get all that weapons unlocked for one specific class. It's pretty shit. The lack of customization in this game is one of the things that really ruined this game for me and for a lot of other players. The lack of incentive, the lack of goals, and the lack of having something to play for is something that really keeps the first-person shooter alive. If you look at first-person shooters, what exactly draws people to coming back to that first person shooter? What makes a good multiplayer FPS first person shooter? Well, to start with, maps, of course. Maps in this game, honestly, I haven't played the game in quite some time, so I can't really remember too much how the maps play, so I'm not really going to comment too much on that. I will say I do like the maps. From what I remember, the maps are actually pretty cool in this game, and most of them anyway. I did actually like quite a bit of them, and mainly I remember playing a lot of like TDM domination. Did play some Conquest as well, but I remember I was just a lot more into Call of Duty play style at that time, and I really just wanted to play some domination, I guess. But yeah, when it comes to making a first person shooter good, not only the maps and the gameplay are very important, which they are, don't get me wrong, but customization and having a goal is really what brings people back to a first person shooter. That is the biggest thing that draws people in to coming back, to leveling up, to keep grinding in a game. There is no incentive in this game for me right now to want to play the game. Honestly, considering I haven't played the game in a good bit, I kind of do want to go back to the game, and I do want to give it another shot. But even if I do go back to the game and I do download the game again, because I did uninstall the game and I do end up going back to it, I've done it before. I've uninstalled the game, I've reinstalled, and I went back to the game and tried it again. I have the same problem. It just is boring to me, and that's the way I'm feeling with World War II right now. I'm not saying Battlefield 1 is alone in this. For someone like me, who is a massive Call of Duty fan, or has been a massive Call of Duty fan and has been sticking with Call of Duty here for especially over the past couple of years and defending that franchise, I've said it before and I'm saying it again, I am bored of World War II. I don't want to play that game. I am so sick and tired of that game. I don't want to go anywhere near it. I did have a bit of an urge to go play the game, and I went back on the game for like 3 minutes. I got too frustrated, I got too bored. It was just plain boring, and I didn't want to play it. World War II is not the case with lack of customization, It's the complete opposite of what Battlefield 1 is, in my opinion. World War II has so much customization. It can be overwhelming for a new player, kind of. So it can be. I remember first getting the game and there was so much stuff to do and explore, and it was so cool at the start. But now, I'm just bored of it. Battlefield 1 for me right now is a game that is boring because of its gameplay. One, I don't like the gameplay. Comparing it to Battlefield 4, I like the era of Battlefield 4. I love the big skyscraper maps and the big levolution. Battlefield 1 doesn't have as much or the same type of levolution that Battlefield 4 has that made me so interested in Battlefield 4. Personally, when it comes down to it right now, I'm just bored of the game. I'm bored of Battlefield 1. I'm bored of World War 2. I don't want to play these games. Battlefield 4 is an amazing game. I love the levolution in Battlefield 4. I love the big open maps, I love the vehicles, I love everything that game has to offer, and Battlefield 1 does not offer that to me gameplay wise as well. It does not offer the same variety and the same gunplay and the same customization that Battlefield 4 has to offer. It does not offer anywhere near the amount of shit that Battlefield 4 brought to the table. And even though Battlefield 4 was a buggy piece of shit whenever it first released, it is still one of the greatest and one of the best multiplayer shooters, FPS shooters out there till today. And even though I don't play the game that much, and even though I've never been a big Battlefield fan as such, I can truly say, as someone who's played a lot of Call of Duty and a big Call of Duty fan, Battlefield 4 is awesome. Battlefield 4 is amazing, but Battlefield 1 did not give me that feeling, and I've heard this even from a lot of Battlefield fans out there that love Battlefield and that stick with Battlefield, are saying that the game is boring. The game is not as interesting as Battlefield 4, and a lot of people have went back to Battlefield 4. That's just the way I'm feeling. That's the way a lot of people have been feeling about this game, and it kind of sucks. I want to see games do good. I don't want to see games, especially games that, even though I may not love this franchise as much and I don't play a whole lot of Battlefields, I still want to see it succeed. I still want to see it go on and be good. I don't want to see it crash and burn. I don't want to see games do bad. I hate when people shit on a game. I want to see games that are good. I want to see games that are entertaining, especially games that I have, and especially games that I want and have to play. As I've said on multiple times and on multiple occasions in this video, I don't like Battlefield 1 right now. I'm just kind of bored of the game, and I can't really put it any more than that. The customization, lack of customization, the gameplay to me is kind of boring. I understand this video, any Battlefield 1, especially like really hardcore Battlefield 1 fans out there, as I said at the start of the video, are probably pretty triggered, but you've probably heard this from other YouTubers, even other Battlefield YouTubers. A lot of people have went back to Battlefield 4, and that's fine. I actually really like the way they have stuck with Battlefield 4, and they've kept it as a game that, even though it came out, how many years ago did it come out? Like, what? 4, 5, if not 6 years ago. I don't even know, it might not have even been that long. It did come out a good while ago. For a game that came out that long ago, it's kind of crazy that the game has actually grown in more popularity over the years, because as I said, the game was a buggy piece of shit whenever it first released. Right now, it's in a pretty good place, actually in an extremely good place for EA, for the community, for people that play the game. It's good for everyone all around. The battle packs are fair enough, I really don't mind them. Even Call of Duty supply drops, I've never really had too much of a big problem with. But overall, I like Battlefield 4, I think it's a good game, but Battlefield 1 right now is just kind of boring to me. I'm sorry if anyone really likes the game. I do know that there's a lot of people that do like the game and have enjoyed the game, and I can see why people do enjoy the game, and honestly I kind of want to go give the game another shot. I kind of want to go download the game again, give it another go, give it another shot, and just play the game a bit more, because as I've said before, Battlefield 1 is a very well made game. It's a very well built game, and overall within quality, it's a good game. But like any first person shooter, if it does not have any incentive to bring you back, you're going to lose interest, and you're going to lose interest pretty fast. Anyway guys, that's pretty much all I had to say in this video. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and yeah, I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.